Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial. If you're new to the channel, my name is Agnes and you're welcome. In today's tutorial, we're going to be doing this ruffled top. I use different stitches for this top. I have the Alpine stitch, I have the slip stitch at the bottom, I have the floral stitch, I have single crochet on the straps, and I have the double crochet for the ruffles. So it's a combination of a whole lot of stitches, but simple ones. So if you've watched my previous video, I made the vest first. So if you already made this vest, this top, you need to just go ahead to I think 35 minutes ahead just to put the rest of the details. But then if you haven't made this before, then you are going to start right with me. And it's not hard. You need your bust measurements for this, so we are going to go right into the tutorial. Alright, so you're going to need a tape measure, a 3.0 millimeter hook. 3.0 millimeter hook. You're going to need yarn, any medium weight yarn or DK yarn. I'm using Winter King, 50 grams acrylic yarn, and then you're going to need scissors. So we're going to start with the waistband, and for the waistband we'll be using the slip stitch only in the back loop. So you're going to make a foundation chain, and I'm going to chain 17 chains. This is how is it wide my waistband is. So I chained 17 stitches. If you want it longer, then you can go ahead and make a longer chain. All right, so this is what I have. And we're going to start on our row 1. So you'll skip the first stitch. You're going to skip the first chain, sorry, I chained one more, skip that you chained, one chain, and then into your second chain from the hook you are going to make a slip stitch like that. So go into your next chain, make a slip stitch. That's how you make a slip stitch, and you are going to make one slip stitch in each chain until you get to the end of this chain. In the end, I will be having 16 slip stitches. Okay, so let's continue with that until we have our slip stitches till the end. So I'm coming to the end. That is my last slip stitch. So we're going to row 2. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to be working only in the back loop, only in the back loop. So you're going to go into the back loop of that first slip stitch and make a slip stitch. Go into the second slip stitch in the back loop and make a second slip stitch. So you're going to go into your third stitch only in the back loop like that and make a slip stitch. Go into your next stitch, make a slip stitch, and you're going to work slip stitches in the back loop only until you get to the end of this row, and you should have the same number as your row 1. Mine is going to be 16 slip stitches. So do that, and I'll meet you once you have you're done with your second row. So we are only working in the back loop right there, like how I'm doing it. So do that, and once you get to the end, then we start on our row 3. And I'm now going to work my last one. Somewhere there is my last one. That's my 16th. Yeah, so we're now going to row 3. So you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work again. And just like we did in the previous row, it is only in the back loop, a slip stitch. Go into your next stitch, make a slip stitch only in the back loop. We are working only in the back loop, and basically this is going to be the pattern. It is a slip stitch in every stitch. Get to the end of the row, then chain 1, turn your work, slip stitch in the back loop in every stitch. Do that. You're going to continue doing that, and yeah, that's the pattern. So I did this until I had 17 inches. So you'll do the same. Take your bust measurements. You'll need your bust measurements. Once you have your bust measurements, subtract 13 inches. So mine is 30 inches of my bust measurements. Minus 13, I will do 17 inches. Okay, so this is what I have. This stitch is quite stretchy. Okay, so that's why I'm subtracting the 13 inches, because it's quite stretchy. So this is my 17. My bust measurements is 30, subtract 13, 17 inches, and this is what I have. Okay, so once you have your measurements correct, we are going to join this together. Okay, so we'll join this using a slip stitch still. So this is going to be our waistband. We're now going to join this together and like this. There's really no specific way of joining it. I'll just show you. So I go into the back loop of this side and then join on the back loop of the other side, I guess, on the other part. So the inside loops is what I'm using. So the back loop on this first side there, and then the back loop on the other side. Both are on the inside, like that. Sorry, so it's the back loop and the front loop. Okay, so I go into the back loop here, and then the front loop on this on the other side, like that, and join using a slip stitch. Okay, so back loop on this side, front loop on the other side, yeah, it's quite hard to do because on the other side it was more of the chains. So anyway, you'll manage. So do it at your pace. This is how it looks like. So back loop here, front loop on the other side, and then make a slip stitch. Yeah, so do that until you get to the end, to the top, and I will see you once you're done. Okay, yeah, I'm done, and this is how it looks in the inside, and this is the outside part. So this is going to be the right side, and we are now going to work on the Alpine stitch. Okay, so you see these ridges. We have the top ridge, we have the lower ridge. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to do a row of single crochets first. So you chain 1, go into that lower ridge there, make a single crochet. Okay, and then go at the top of that ridge, make a single crochet. Okay, I'm choosing to call them ridges. I don't know what you call them. So we have the lower ridge there. So we're going to skip that lower ridge and go on to the top ridge and make a single crochet. Okay, we skipped this, but now we don't skip the next. So we have this top one, so that's 1 stitch. This is the second stitch in the lower ridge, and our third stitch on the top ridge. Okay, so our fourth stitch, which should be in the lower ridge, we are going to skip it and go ahead on top ridge and make 1, go into the lower ridge and make 2, then the top ridge and make 3, and skip the fourth one, which should be in the lower ridge, and go right on top on the top ridge and make 1, 2, 3, and skip. Then make 1, 2, 3, and skip the next one. So that is going to be the pattern. So we are working top ridge, lower ridge, top ridge, then skip the next lower ridge. Okay, then we go straight into the next top ridge, lower ridge, top ridge, skip, then go straight into the top ridge, lower ridge, like that. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Look at what I'm doing and you'll be able to hack it. All right, so you're going to do this until you get to where you started your row, and I will meet you so that we can start our row 2. All right, so I'm at the end and we are going to close this off with a slip stitch on top of that very first single crochet. So yeah, now we are going to work row 2. So you're going to chain 2, and we're going to be working in the same direction. So in that very first stitch, you are going to go ahead and make a double crochet. So now we are switching to double crochet. Go into the next stitch, make a double crochet. Into the next one, make a double crochet. Please note that our first stitch of the chain 2 counted as a stitch. Okay, so you are going to make double crochets in every stitch until you get to the end of this row. And once you're done with this row, I'll meet you so that I can show you how we go about the Alpine stitch. Okay, so do that till the end. Yes, done with row 2. This is was a row of double crochet. So on top of that chain 2, you are going to make a slip stitch and then chain 1, and this time round we are going to turn our work. So turn your work for the first time, and in that very first stitch right there, make a single crochet. So in this case, that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, so make a single crochet in that very first stitch like I did, and you're going to go into every stitch making single crochets. So go into every stitch with a single crochet, and yeah, until you get to the end of this row. Then I'll meet you once you are done with your row of single crochets. Yes, I'm at the end, and you're going to make a slip stitch there. Okay, so next row is going to be a row of double crochets, but we are going to do it different this time. So this is how we get into the Alpine stitch. So you're going to skip that very first stitch, and where you had your first double crochet, leave around the chain 2, right? Leave around this chain 2. So where you had your first double crochet, you are going to go under that first double crochet. So this is our first double crochet. Go under it with your hook like you're making a front post. It's actually a front post. Then pull it to the height of a double crochet up there and make a double crochet. Okay, then your next stitch is going to be a normal double crochet like that. So this is how it looks at the back. So you're going to go into the next stitch and go into your previous row, not the one of single crochets, but the one of double crochet. So go under that double crochet like that and pull it up and make a double crochet. So your next stitch is going to be a normal double crochet that should be on the row of single crochets right there. Then remember, you're skipping a stitch when you go to the previous row. So go into the previous row and make another double crochet, and then the next one is going to be just a normal double crochet. The next will go into the previous row like that. So this is going to be the pattern. I hope you get it. You can see what I'm doing. So you'll be working one stitch in the double crochet and the next in the single crochet like that, but it is all double crochets. The other one is just in form of front post. So you are going to do this until you get to the end of this row, and I will meet you there. So yeah, I'll see you at the end of the row, and this is how it looks at the back. So yeah. All right, so I'm done with my row, and this is how it looks. So I'm going to close this off with a slip stitch, right? That was my last stitch. So go on top of that, chain 2 and make a slip stitch like that. So for the next row is going to be a row of single crochets. So you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and in that very first single crochet, so when it is a row of single crochets, you don't skip any stitch, okay? So that very first one, like right there where I'm placing my hook, you'll make a single crochet, okay? And you're going to insert a single crochet in your next stitch and the next. So you're going to repeat this row of single crochets until you get to the end. And yeah. So I'm done with my row of single crochets. Close this off with a slip stitch on top of that very first single crochet like that, and then you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and we are going to work double crochets again. So leave around that very first stitch, and on top of that previous front post, you're going to, instead of this one, you see this, now we are going to work a normal double crochet on top of it. So it is more of an exchange. So where we had a normal double crochet right there, we will work a front post in the previous stitch like that. That is in the previous row, the row of double crochets. So next is going to be a normal double crochet that is on top of that previous front post. So next will be a front post on the previous row. So it is going to be an exchange where you had a front post, now you put a normal double crochet, where you had a normal double crochet, then you put a front post. So please make sure when you're beginning your rows and ending your rows, you're not adding any more stitches. It should be the same number of stitches. So just make sure where you had a normal double crochet, now you have a front post, and where you had a front post, now you have a normal double crochet. Should be easy as that. No adding any stitches that are not supposed to be there, so that we have our top in a straight line. Okay, so mind where we begin and end your rows. So you're going to do this, repeat this pattern until you have a total number of 3 inches. So I'm doing a size small, and yeah, I'll meet you once I have my 3 inches so that we can start on that other. you know, design, the neckline design. Okay, so I'll see you once you are done. So I have my 3 inches and I want to start on my V neckline. So I divided this into half. This is the right side is where I ended my row. So I just divided in 2 half and put a green stitch mark on this side just to mark where the half is. Then yeah, this was 3 inches. So that half, I went ahead and counted the stitches on the front and divided those stitches on the front into 2. Okay, so that's why my stitch markers are marked like that. So this is where we were starting and ending the rows, right there. So I want that to be on the side. Okay, so this is all half. Then I went ahead and divided this half into another half. Okay, so this is the middle part. So I'm going to work this first triangle there and then the other triangle on that other side. So go ahead and do the divisions, divide into half and then divide the front side into half again. All right, so I already did one of my one side of mine, and I'm going to show you how I did it so that you can do it on your end. And yeah, so you still have your stitch markers in place. I'll just go ahead and show you how I did it. It's just so identical. This was our middle part, right, where we had our middle stitch marker, and this was on the other side. So yeah, so I'll just start from here since we on the row of double crochets, which be on the right side. Okay, so this is the same stitch because this was a middle stitch, so I'll put these 2 front posts just in one, but if you're starting for the first time, of course you just have one. Okay, so I will reattach my yarn at the back stitch like that. That's just the stitch before the stitch marker, and we'll chain 2. So I'll go into that front post and make another front post. So if you're starting for the first time, you should just make a front post there. It will be a double crochet there. Then go in the second one, make a normal double crochet. So once you're working on your second triangle, then you'll have 2 front posts in one at the beginning. So go into the next stitches with the same pattern where there's a front post, make a normal double crochet. Where you had a normal double crochet, make a front post, and you're going to do this basically until you're at the end where there's your other stitch marker, until you're on the side where there's your other stitch marker. So if I know you're doing this for the first time without, this other triangle, so it will just be like a row, starting a fresh row. All right, so I have the same number of front posts on this side, okay, like I have on this other side. It should be the same number of front posts. So we are now going to go to the second row, and it will be for single crochet. So chain 1, turn your work, and we're going to make a reduction here. So you're going to go into that very first stitch, pull through your yarn, but don't finish the single crochet. Go into the next stitch, pull through your yarn, and you have 3 loops on the hook, then pull through all the 3 loops. So you made a decrease there. Then go into the next stitch, make a single crochet, into the next one, make a single crochet, and you're going to make a single crochet in every stitch, and I'll meet you once you have 2 stitches left at the end so that I can come show you how to make that decrease. So yeah. All right, so I have 2 stitches left. This is them, you can remove that stitch marker 1 and 2. So I'm going to make my decrease, so go into that, make that, don't finish your single crochet, go into the next, you have 3 loops and pull through all the 3 loops. So you made a decrease there, chain 2, turn your work, and watch this. So we are going to start with a front post, so we're going to leave this front post alone, don't put a stitch there, but then go into the normal double crochet and make a front post. Okay, you see that? So we basically made a decrease there, and go into the next stitch, make a normal double crochet. Next one is a front post. So it is going to be like this every beginning of the row. You are beginning with a front post, so that means you're leaving 1 stitch behind. Okay, so repeat this, and I will meet you once you're at the end of the row, just to show you how you finish that off, because we need to make a decrease kind of at the end. Okay. Yeah, I'm at the end, and I have 2 stitches left, but I'm going to finish this off with a front post like that. So my last stitch is a front post, and that's it. Okay, so you don't go into the last stitch, you chain 1, and we are going to make a decrease here. So go into that very first stitch, don't finish your single crochet, go into the next stitch, don't finish your single crochet. Oopsie. So you have 3 loops and pull through all the 3 loops, so you made a decrease, and now you go into each single crochet, each stitch with a single crochet, and I'll see you at the end of this row. So I'm at the end, I have 2 stitches to go, so we are going to make a decrease. So go into this second last one, do that, into the last one, you have 3 loops, pull through all the 3, you made your decrease, so chain 2, you are going to another row of double crochets. So we start the row with a front post, leave this alone, go into the double crochet and make a front post. The next is the normal double crochet on top of the previous front post. The next is the front post on top of that previous double crochet, and basically you are going to repeat this pattern. It's easy as that. You're starting with a front post and ending with a front post. Yeah, so we are coming to the end. I have 2 stitches, but now we are only ending with a front post. So there it is, end your row like that. Okay, so chain 1, turn your work, make a decrease. So this is your single crochet, don't complete it. Go into the next stitch, don't complete it, and you have 3 loops, then pull through all the 3 loops and go into the next stitch, make a single crochet, repeat yourself, repeat this pattern. It's a repeat of 2 rows. Excuse me. You are going to repeat this, and yeah, I will meet you once you have 4 front posts remaining. You see here where I had 4 front posts. Once you have 4 front posts remaining, I'll see you. Yay, I'm done. This is what I have. So I went ahead and did a row of single crochets there. So yeah, so basically in total I have 5 single crochets. Okay, I did my last decreases and I have a total of 5 single crochets. So you're going to chain 1, turn your work and work a single crochet in that first stitch. That's your first, your second. We are not making any decreases anymore. Third, 4, and 5. Chain 1, turn your work and repeat. 1 single crochet, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th single crochet. Chain 1, turn your work and repeat. So you are going to repeat this, yeah, so this is your strap. This is basically going to be your strap, and from, let me tell you my measurements. So from here, the back up to down there where we started our alpine stitch, I have a total of 17 inches. Okay, so from where we started our alpine stitch, go make that single crochet strap until you have 17 inches. Yeah, this is what I have. I think I did 41 rows of single crochet, and this is an equivalent of 17 inches. Okay, I'm recording this at 4 a.m. and I'm pretty tired. All right, so in case I'm sounding weird, yeah, I'm really sleepy and tired, but I have to finish this. So this is 17 inches. Okay, so if you're making any other size apart from size 1, you can add 1.5 inches to each of your extra sizes. So yeah. So we are going to join this. So from the middle part, I counted 7 stitches. So that was my middle. I counted 7 stitches on one side. So now I'm going to count 7 stitches, and in the 8th stitch that will where I will attach, that is where I will attach my strap. So my strap is 7 stitches, right? So I'm just going to mark this. So that's 1, 3, 4, 5. So 5, and I'll pull this off. So this is where I'm going to attach my straps. So I'll attach from the inside, and I will simply use a slip stitch. So we're going to slip stitch this together. Yeah. And I'll cut this off. So you'll go ahead and do the other side too. I already have 2, so I think you have 1. So go ahead and do the other side. It's identical, and yeah, I'll see you once you have this. Okay, this is how it looks. Okay. Yeah. So do that, sew in your ends, and I'll see you once you are done. So this is done. This is how it looks, and you can choose to wear it like this. I think this is pretty, but we are going to now add the rest of the details. So we will start with the floral part, which is on the straps, and then goes to that V-neck design. So yeah, let's start. So we're going to start from the back, on the inside of the strap, on the inside part of the strap. So you're going to reattach your yarn. Okay, so on this strap, that's where I reattach my yarn. We're working on the inside side. Okay, so you're going to chain one, and we're going to use single crochets for this first row. So in every row you are going to start one single crochet. That's in every row of the single crochets that we did for the strap. Yeah, that's tight. Yeah, so insert a single crochet in that first row and a single crochet in the next row. So to make it easier, I'm inserting these single crochets in the ridges. So in the lower ridge, upper ridge, lower ridge, upper ridge. When you check your top, you will be able to see. Okay. So it's single crochet in the lower ridge, single crochet in the top ridge. Anyway, that's how I call it. I don't think that's the, the crochet language thing, but yeah, you get it. So it's single crochet in every ridge. That is an equivalent like in every row. And you're going to do that until you get to the part where we did the front part, where we have the start of the Alpine stitch, and I will meet you there to show you how I work that part. Okay, so I'm down here, and we are going to just do the same. It is one single crochet in every row. So I'm putting a single crochet in a row where we did our double crochets, and then in a row where we have our single crochets. Okay, so it's in every row. One single crochet in a row of double crochets, and one single crochet in the row of the single crochets. Just watch what I'm doing. There's no specific place to put it. Just make sure you have one single crochet in every row. Just like that. Okay, so this is how it looks, and we are going to go down until we get to this V, then go up, and then go down on the single crochets, the strap, until you get down here. I'll see you once you're done. All right, so I'm done. I'm at the bottom, and we are now going to do our row 2. Okay, so I'm in love with this stitch. I discovered it recently, and it's like I'm doing it in every piece I'm doing. So anyway, so row 2, you're going to chain. Okay, make a chain 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to turn your work. You're going to turn your work and skip 2 stitches. That's 1 and that's 2. Into the 3rd stitch, you are going to make a double crochet. Then you're going to chain 1, and in that very same stitch, make another double crochet like that. Then chain 3, skip 2 stitches, and into the 3rd stitch, you are going to make a single crochet like that. Then chain 3, skip 2 stitches, and in the 3rd stitch, make a double crochet. chain 1, in that same stitch make a second double crochet. Okay, so now you're going to chain 3, skip 2 stitches, and in the third stitch make a single crochet, then chain 3, skip 2 into the third stitch, make a double crochet, chain 1, into the same stitch make your second double crochet. So you can see the pattern, it's a repetitive pattern. So it's chain 3, skip 2, the third stitch, make a single crochet, chain 3, skip 2, in the third stitch make a double crochet, chain 1, in that same stitch make a second double crochet. So you're going to repeat the pattern along the strap, go downwards, and once you reach at the bottom of the V, I'll come show you. So I'm almost at the bottom and I have a few stitches left. I will do just single crochet. So this is one single crochet, my second single crochet, and my third, and then I'm at the bottom, so it will be 4. So I'll go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the other side. Okay, so this is the V at the bottom. So now I'm going to chain 3, and then will skip 2, and in the third stitch I'll make a double crochet, chain 1, into the same stitch make a double crochet, so that you have it's identical on one side and on the other side they are both identical. So if you ended your rows with if you ended with maybe 2 stitches at the bottom, you'll have 2 stitches on this side. So make it sure it's identical. So I went all around and finished this row. This is how it looks. Okay, so we are now going to row 3. So for row 3, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to work slip stitches. So work a slip stitch in every stitch here. Just slip stitch all the way to the top until you get your first double crochet on top of your first double crochet. So now we're going to work in that chain 1. So make a single crochet in that chain 1, then chain 5, go back into that chain 1 and make a single crochet. That's how it looks. Then now chain 7, go back into that same chain space, make a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 5, go back into that same chain space and make a single crochet. So here is your first flower. This is your first flower. This is how it looks. And now you're going to chain 4 chains, then skip that single crochet, go right into that chain space between those 2 double crochets and make a single crochet. Then chain 5, make a single crochet in that same chain space, chain 7, and single crochet in the chain space, chain 5, single crochet in that very chain space, and you have your second flower. Then you're going to chain 4, skip that, go into the chain space between the 2 double crochets and repeat the same. It's the same pattern. You chain 5, single crochet in that same space, chain 7, single crochet in that chain space, and then chain 5 again, single crochet in that same chain space. Once you have your flower, chain 4, go into the next double crochet, chain space, like that. You're going to do that until you get down to the v-neck. Make those single crochets that you made, then continue going up with the flowers, and I'll meet you once you're at the back. Alright, so I'm at the back and this is how it looks. We have our flowers all through. So we are now just going to finish this off with single crochets. And I'm going to work single crochets back there in every stitch. Make a single crochet until you get to the other side where we have our other sleeve. I'm just working single crochets across. Once you get to the other strap, secure your yarn. With a slip stitch, chain one, and cut off your yarn. And yeah, so we are done with that part. Yeah, I love this stitch. I'm obsessed with it, and I don't know, I hope I hope you like it too. So this is how it looks. Okay, I think it's pretty. I don't know, I find it pretty. I don't know about you, but we are now going to work on the sleeves, the ruffles. So yeah, now let's get to that part. So for the ruffles, it's going to be on the outer part of the strap. So you are going to reattach your yarn at the bottom there of the strap, and you're going to chain one, and it's going to be the same thing. We are going to work single crochets first. So insert a single crochet in every ridge like we did for the other side. And we are going to go all around. With single crochets in every ridge, top ridge, bottom ridge, or you can call it in every row. So it's a single crochet in every row. You're going to go all around. Yeah, go all around. You already did this on the inside part, so it's just same pattern. Go around, and I'll meet you once you're down there. Okay. So yes, I'm done. I went all around up to down there. So that's our armhole. And now we are going to row 2. So for row 2, you're going to chain 3. Because we are using double crochets for this next row. So you're going to yarn over, go into that very first stitch, make a double crochet. So you're going to go into that same stitch, make your second double crochet. Okay, so now you're going to go into your second stitch, make a double crochet. Into that very same stitch, make your second double crochet. So we are increasing 2 double crochets in a stitch. So go into your third double crochet, third stitch, make a double crochet. Into the very same stitch, make your second double crochet. So this is going to be the pattern. It's 2 double crochets in every stitch. So go into every stitch, making 2 double crochets. We are increasing in every stitch. Okay, do that all around, and I'll meet you once you're done. So I'm done with my first row. This is how it looks like. We made an increase in every stitch, and we are now going to row 3. So for row 3, you're going to chain 3 into that very first stitch. So you turn your work, and into that very stitch make a double crochet. Okay, now here we don't make an increase, so go into the next stitch, make a double crochet, and here we'll make an increase. So into that very same stitch make a second double crochet. So now for the next stitch we're not going to increase, so go into your next stitch, make only one double crochet. Right, now your next stitch you are going to increase, so make one double crochet, and into the same stitch make a second double crochet. Next stitch only one double crochet, then go into the next stitch and insert 2 double crochets. So you already see the pattern, so it's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets. So this is going to be your pattern for this row, and you're going to repeat this until you get to the bottom on the other side. Okay, and I'll meet you once you're done with this row. So you see the pattern, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet. Repeat that until you finish this row, and yeah, that's it. So I'm done with my row 3. I hope you are done too, and we are done doing the increases. So our next row, you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and no more increases. So in that first stitch you are going to insert 1 double crochet, go into your next stitch, insert 1 double crochet, into the next stitch insert another double crochet. So it's going to be 1 double crochet in every stitch, no increasing for this row. Okay, no increasing for this row, and this is going to be the pattern, no increasing from now on. And I went ahead and did these are 3 rows of double crochet, so I went ahead and did 3 more rows of no increase at all, and I had a total number of 6 rows of double crochet. So do that. Then once you're done, go to the other sleeve, do the same until you have 6 rows of double crochet. It's 2 rows of increase and 4 rows of no increase at all. So do that both sleeves. Once you're done, I will see you then. Okay, so if you're done with your sleeve, this is how it should look like. So I went ahead and chained about 7 chains and joined together just to keep it in place when you wear it. And the other side of the sleeve also, you know, they are identical. They should look like this. Yeah, so go ahead, chain those chains. Oh, is it only me that finds it so hard to, you know, crochet while wearing my rings? Anyway, so cut off your yarns and your top should look like this, and I think it's pretty. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up, share to your WhatsApp group, subscribe, leave a comment and tell me if you found this helpful. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.